Today's unboxing and setup, we're going to turn this mess of a top-down unboxing table into a work of art using this kit we got from Neewer right here. So we're going to crack it open. You're going to see some time lapses, you're going to see all sorts of things going on. But first, I think I need to get everything off the desk and get rid of that existing boom arm that's in the way, and we'll take it from there. All right, the good news is we've got it cleared, so I've got basically an empty desk. Now I've left the mat on there because it's sort of stuck on there. I'm just going to give it a quick, for now I'm going to leave the camera where it is, but that might change at some point. So what we're going to do is actually start unboxing. So let's get into the box over here and give you that old school unboxing look. Here we go. All right, let's see what we got here. Now, of course, this is from Neewer, and I'm just going to start opening this box. Now, this is a top-down rig for a desk. You'll get the gist of it when we start setting it up, but it should sort of make sense as we go, I think. Both sides like that have flappy ends. So maybe I could have just opened it from one side, possibly. I don't know. Maybe I should have just left that at the bottom and pulled this out. Maybe that's the top. This looks like it could be the top. All right. Now, hopefully, you can see as I pull stuff out, I'll present it to you. I'm trying to stay sort of to the left here so you can see. There's a box of accessories. We're going to crack into that in a minute. Just going to stick that behind here. I want to get these out and then so we can... Okay, and basically out of the box, everything else is in sort of one sort of packet here. It's all the bars, all the cross beams, they're separate, but they've got these ends on them to help them slot in the box and keep them from jostling around in packaging. That's pretty well done, in my opinion. So let's just lay it down and get rid of all this packaging, shall we? Okay, I'm going to take the plastic off each one. You'll start getting the gist once we get all the plastic off, I think. Okay, so let's talk through what we've got here. We've got this with the clamp and this one at the back with the clamp. That's like for either side. And then this is the crossbar, it goes across the top. It undoes so you can extend it, make it the length that it needs to be from both directions. So hopefully that fits my desk okay. Just going to leave that like that for now. So what we can do is figure out where our mounting point will be on both of these sides. What I have to keep in mind, this is a sit-stand desk, so I have a crank that can sit either side in the middle, so I want to be offset from that a little bit. Now let's check the accessories for a second, because we haven't looked into those. You know what? I just put my knife in, and there's a nice little seal. So let's kick in this. Now this should be all the bits to help join them all together. Oh, we've got a nice instruction manual with a bit of an image of what it should look like when we're done. In here, we've got a one of the super clamps with the short articulating packet there. We've got a ball head for mounting stuff. Got a phone clamp as well. Didn't know I was getting that. That's a bonus. That's like a clamp, like at the part, like the top of, I don't even know what they're called, but you can like put things on, like my light will, it's like the fitting my light will go on. So keep that in mind. And another one, the same. So there's two of those. We're going to get rid of the box. So 2 of these sort of mounting clamps. They've got some of the standard size threads on the bottom. A phone clamp, which has threads in the back and the bottom, so you go portrait and landscape. A ball head, and a super clamp with an articulating arm joined to it for mounting your phone, I guess, as a top-down camera, or for mounting something else as a top-down camera. There's all the accessories, whichever option you want to go with. We can add additional things to this as well. So, what it's going to give us is a whole bunch of instructions, shows us how it should go together, all the different parts, knowing that we've got a clamp, both uprights in place, and then then put the cross beam on top, and they should lock in place. And I believe that might actually be what these do. They're in the top corners and also become mounting points for lights and so forth. Yes, that's what the diagram indicates. So I think I'm good to put this together without any sort of following the instructions. It seems pretty straightforward. Okay, that's English on one side. Looks like it's Chinese on the other, possibly. So we've got instructions in a couple of languages there. There's also some barcodes to links to something. First is Facebook, TikTok, Neewer.com. Probably just some additional documentation. So we're going to put that to the side. And I think the next thing we're going to do is get into the install. Roll the time lapse. Okay, so we got everything in the main portion of the kit. We've got the 2 uprights, we've got the cross beam, everything's locked down with the sleeves here and here, same down that side. One thing to note with the height is they got lines on there, so you can line them up to get it fairly level, you know, within a few millimeters fairly quickly when setting up. So I've set the same line level on both sides. So that's a nice feature that they've got them marked so you can adjust the height. I think this will be good for me. For now, we can adjust the height on both sides later. So the next thing you want to do is go ahead and mount some stuff. So we're going to go through some of the mounting. A couple of other things to note is these caps were on the ends. So they came off before we put the cross beam on. And then we topped it off with these sort of C-mount style end caps, which will allow us to mount things on those corners as well. Now what I want to do is be able to mount my smartphone, either my 15 Pro Max or my 13 Pro, using this MagSafe. Now this is interesting. This is a nifty little thing. I did a unboxing of this one at some point. So it's got a built-in Arca Swiss mount, which means that if you've got a tripod head that takes the Arca Swiss style, which is like this one here, this basically goes in and then you tighten it up and it locks in place. Normally you would have to have like an Arca Swiss sort of base plate as well, which would also work. So if you wanted to mount a camera, a microphone, lighting, stuff like that, you could use this method. That would just screws into whatever you're mounting to it. But I digress. We can take that off. So I'm thinking of going heavy duty and using the heavy duty one that I had on my boom style top down. Let's repurpose that because otherwise it's not getting used right now. It's quite heavy. So we're going to have to figure out how to mount that. Now it has the bigger settings. So what I've done is gone ahead and put in, I've got all these adapters. So I've put in the adapter that makes it for the small style hole, which means that we could technically then mount it with this clamp. So let's see how we go with that real quick. Now I want it to basically come straight out. I think that's my plan. And then look down because this is set back a little bit. I want it to look down onto sort of this area here. So I'm going to try and aim for the center of this area. So we're going to tighten the super clamp. This is the clamp that came with it. So it's a clamp and an articulating arm. The articulating arm, when loose, is just like really, just sort of randomly loose. But then as soon as you tighten that, it's like a tension mount. It goes tight as. So then I want to see if this tension arm actually holds the weight of this. Otherwise, we might put a smaller one on if it's going to struggle. You know, in actual fact, I think that's a wise choice. So what I need to do is make sure I've got another Arca Swiss mount that I can use that on, which I think might be the one I've got on my switch pod. I've also got one, of course, built in on the tripod that camera's on. So I have a couple, so that's okay. But I think this has got a little bit of unnecessary weight, so let's not throw unnecessary weight at it, I think. So let me get this one off the switch pod. Like, this is a perfect size, and this one's also from Neewer. And just screw it on first of all. So it's tight. Now you can see that's more or less lined up, so I'm going to get that as dead level as possible, because what I want to do is be able to then, now that's coming out quite a fair way, so then I'm going to slide on this, and I'm going to tighten that up. Now it's on a slight angle, so what I can do is adjust that with the ball head. Now that is quite out towards the actual edge of the desk, so what I might do is use the articulating arm just to undo it and drop it down. So more of a right angle like that. So that works as well. So then, as an example, I'll get my phone. It's in the wrong case for this. Not planning ahead. I've got a case that has the MagSafe, but the phone itself will be fine for demonstration because the phone itself has a MagSafe. So then that locks on, and then I've automatically got a top down, so I can do it that way or I can turn it that way, which is probably better. I have a case that goes in that will still work fine with the MagSafe, which is this one. It's another one I got off Amazon. And then we can just I just have to tweak this all up at some point. But for now, we're just going to leave it like that. So that's my top down rig ready to go, in the sense of the camera, because I am using either this smartphone or the one that we're recording on. So secondly, we've got some lighting to go on. As you saw when we were doing the teardown, I've got this beast of a light. So I got to figure out how. Now this will work with these on either side. So I got to figure out if I'm going to just angle it or go like a top-down moody shot, just to give even light, which would probably be the ideal. Now I could probably just mount it to the side. I'd have to mount it enough out of the way so it doesn't get in the shot. So that's another consideration. Now this runs off power. I'll put it in place and then I can run the power cable to it in due course. But I'm just trying to figure out the best way to do this. I could mount it this way and then put it on like an angle like that. Or if I mounted it, I could mount it on this way. If I can. So this is sort of sitting on this thing here. That's sort of the light. Now I'm obstructed by the crossbeam, so I have to work out this lighting situation. And if I have the light above the bar, then the bar becomes like a point that's creating a shadow. So something else I've got to think about. I also can simply just go ahead and mount a battery-mounted light, like this smaller Neewer one. Now all these lights are from Neewer, so they're all from the same company that makes this setup. So, you know, they have so many different types of camera accessories that it ain't silly. So on this side, I could just sort of mount this one. This one runs off, I've just got this one running off a battery. This one also has a built-in cold shoe mount, so I could put it on like a tripod with a cold shoe, or I could just screw it into this magic ball mount that we got, ball head mount that we got with the kit. So we can use it for pretty much whatever we want. I've got these little handy Neewer ball mounts all over the shop, so, you know, they come in handy. If we move that to the right spot, we can sort of, we've got an angle point there, we've got also the angle point on the actual light itself. I don't know how I want to do that right at the moment, so I'm just going to loosen that off there. And then I can like turn it on, turn up the brightness, and that'll give me a little bit of extra light if I need it. Right now, I'm not sure what I want to do with that. I want this to be the main light, and so I have to figure out how I'm going to mount it. That is something that I will figure out. Now, additional things I could do, I could get like additional like super clamps like this with longer articulating arms, put them on the side here. I'm going to be mounting a microphone in this manner. So for example, let's grab, so I could grab like the microphone that I'll be using, which I do use this one on my unboxing desk quite a lot. I could mount on either arm, but let's for the sake of you seeing what I'm doing, mount it over here. Now I think this one might be a small rig one, and the Neewer ones are quite identical. So articulating arm, put in position, lock it in place, boom. I can adjust that to be angled towards where I am sitting. Now, with my top-down and typical unboxing, I have my top-down camera. I have the camera I speak to, so this is probably going to stay here. This is just a separate sort of desk-mounted mount. That's just going to sit there and do the same thing. I usually sit down on my chair and talk to the camera, unbox it. I'm sitting this way, unboxing, talking to this camera, recording the top-down, enough light to light up what I'm doing, and this just makes it easier for me to mount what I need to mount where I need to mount it, as opposed to this light I was limited to putting on this stand. This camera was limited to how I could angle in that boom arm that I was using to bring it in from the side, and that would have a bit of flex in it because it was sort of trying to balance the weight of whatever camera I was using, whether it was a phone or a DSLR, with sandbag on the other side. Did I have enough weight? Could I lock it in with the articulating arm part? But everything is self-contained to the desk. I think what I will be able to do is run cables and cable tie with like Velcro cable ties quite easily around the pole like that, which is what I'm going to have to do when I run the power for the light. Right now, for the camera on the phone doesn't need an additional power, but if I was running something that was really long, I could, for example, on the iPhone 15 Pro Max USB-C out, I could take a video out from the Blackmagic app and show it on the TV, or a field monitor, so I could see what the top-down shot was giving me. I usually already do that when I'm monitoring this camera as well. I usually use my iPad, so I bring my iPad on this stand across here, like this. Typically, that monitors my Panasonic Lumix camera via wireless. I could bring a cable, HDMI cable down and monitor the iPhone with a field monitor, ideally. And I could mount that field monitor over here out of the shot, because basically this is shooting this way, getting the set. This is shooting down, getting the desk. If it's up on the arms, this top-down shot is not going to see it. So this is really good. This gives me mounting points for additional equipment, microphone. I've got an arm coming. It's going to bring the microphone out closer, which is great. I could even probably come up with a mounting system for the iPad if I wanted to do that on this side, or another field monitor, so I can mount those. So it is very, very versatile as to what I can do with this overhead rig setup, because of the two uprights, very sturdy construction. These poles feel premium. They don't feel weak. The locking mechanisms feel solid. They're slightly rubberized, so you get that sort of grip. Feel really good. And so, yeah, now I just got to dial this thing in. And in the future, you'll be seeing unboxings from this new setup. It's going to be really good. I'm looking forward to it. This is Doug, and I'll catch you later.